Yeah, we're done. And we are back. Another outstanding episode of the Square Table Degenerates. Today we welcome comedian Brooks Wheelan to the show. How are you today, sir?
I'm great. How are you, Joe?
I'm doing good. It's supposed to warm up because it was chilly yesterday. It's you don't have that problem where you're at, but it does get cold up here still. It's not. I mean, these winters aren't as bad as they used to be back in the 80s, 90s. But man, it's still it's December, whatever.
Yeah, no, I was home in Iowa in November, and it was kind of nice out. It was like, what is happening?
Right. It's global, whatever the fuck it's called, global warming, climate change, really definitely taking effect.
Yeah, it's legit.
All right, so through a combination of my sweet internet sleuthing and the fact that you mentioned it several times in your act, I've deduced that you were born in Iowa, Cedar Rapids, Iowa, in fact. Okay.
Yeah, I grew up in like an hour north of Cedar Rapids in Manchester, Iowa.
Okay. I've always wanted to ask somebody from the Cedar Rapids area this question, but do you remember in Titanic when the guy was like, well, from what I hear, Cedar Rapids is dead? Did that like piss anybody off? Did you guys ever talk about that?
You know what? I do slightly remember that he talked about Cedar Rapids in Titanic, and but there's other references that are much more upsetting. There's a movie called Cedar Rapids that they shot in Grand Rapids, Michigan, that is so upsetting if you're from Cedar Rapids. Like, of the list of things to be upset about, the Titanic mention is not one of them.
That's funny because like when I was a kid, dude, I had very fond memories of Iowa. Like as a child, because there's this town called Carpentersville, Illinois. It's a small town like that. I'm sure it's fucking run down like your Manchester is now. But back then, back in the 80s, it was fun. But we used to take vacations, family vacations to Iowa. And we'd go to like Effigy Mounds, and there was this Pink Elephant motel built right into the fucking cliff there. Then it was great.
Effigy Mounds is sick. Yeah, you're from right outside Chicago. Yeah. So I was just looking up where Carpentersville is. The Mississippi River part of Iowa rocks. It truly is cool and interesting and rad. And then once you get 10 miles away from the Mississippi River, it sucks.
Right. It's just flat. You could like, if you got good, what's that, traction in your car, you could literally just let go of the wheel and you will not hit, just go straight. The whole road straight. There's no movement or anything.
Yeah, I think there was somebody had like a joke, like growing up in Iowa is nice because you can watch your dog run away for 2 days.
No. Fuck, that's good. Now, yeah, because you, so like your town, I mean, you joke about it on, on stage, meth town, stuff like that. I mean, what besides, you kind of touched on it right there. But like, because you're from the land of Tim Dwight and Tom Arnold and stuff like that, those are the two first people that came to mind when I thought of Iowa and was.
Well, yeah, and I mean, I Tim Dwight's from Iowa City. Tom Arnold's from Ottumwa. So yeah, I mean, they're high up there for Iowa.
And outside of the Delta, outside of the Mississippi River area, like what kind of stuff non-meth stuff that it was fun to do when you were growing up?
Just a lot of drinking and just a ton of drinking, man. Like you just drink in the woods, like we fished a lot, fishing, riding bikes, turn 15 and you start drinking like behind people's barns. And like that was Manchester. Then when I got to Dubuque, where I went to high school, then we hung out on the river a lot. Then we were always out on the Mississippi River, which was a really cool, fun, great place.
Okay, that sounds fucking badass, man. That's got to be like fond memories thinking about, because we used to drink. We had not really river, but it was like a creek kind of thing, and we'd go hang out in there and drink beers and shit.
Yeah,
I'm from Cleveland. Right now I'm in North Olmsted, Ohio. But we grew up in the city in Cleveland, and it was just like that. I mean, you just go. I mean, it was before the internet, mostly because the internet was kind of out, but like, I mean, it was a novelty. You know what I mean? It wasn't
absolutely. Like, yeah. The Mississippi is such a cool river. Truly, like at that where I lived, we would go to islands and just camp on those islands on the river and just get hammered as 15-year-olds.
Damn. Your life is started exactly as mine. Is that when you first drank? Was you like 15? How old was you? Your first voluntary beer, not like some uncle when you were 3 gave you beer, whatever.
Yeah. Well, like my whole life, like I was like, oh, I want to be a state champion wrestler. That's all I care about. I want to win state wrestling. And I had this buddy who's, when I was a freshman, he was a junior. He was incredible. He was really good at wrestling. He won state junior year. I wrestled 119. He was wrestling 112. This guy's a fucking stud. And then after he won, because I was like, you can't drink and win state at wrestling. And like, I remember we went out the week after he won state and my man was getting hammered. And I was like, I guess you can. And the answer is he could. Normal people can't. He was just a really crazy athlete.
Now, what weight did you wrestle like through grade school, in high school, or when did you start the wrestling?
Oh, like as a little kid, like 6.
Okay.
So I wrestled all the way through high school. My brothers wrestled in college. And I realized, because they were older than me, like, that's not, like, I'm not good enough to wrestle Division 1. And they were wrestling Division 3. And I was like, that looks really hard and awful. Because to me, they were so good at wrestling, and they were, losing in college. Like, they were not. It's hard to wrestle in college, and I was like, it looks terrible. I'm going to go to Iowa, which is, I think they won 2 NCAA titles while I was there. And I was like, well, I'm not wrestling here. I'm not even close, like, at all. So I quit wrestling after I was a senior.
Now, that answers your question, Dave. He wants to know if he still wrestles. Yeah, he doesn't wrestle no more.
No, wrestling's like a weird sport too, where like you don't do it when you're done. You know what I mean? It's not like, hey, let's go wrestle. Like, let's go play basketball or football. Like, wrestling is once you're done, you're done.
Right, there's no like old timers tours with the wrestling. They don't get 2 guys. Oh, let's go out there and they should though. That'd be fucking good. Get like you and whoever So
but like with wrestling, so I've tried to wrestle with like friends before, and like it just escalates so quick to be like, hey, we'll just fuck around, and then it gets real.
Right, people start fist fighting and shit. Yeah, it doesn't.
It's not a chill sport.
Well, what weight did you wrestle at? Were you like 135, something like that?
I wrestled 112, 125, 140, and 145 my senior year.
Okay. So your normal weight progression. I had my buddy in the guard. He was like, I wrestled 95, and he was like 95 pounds. Motherfucker, bro. Go like this, blow away. It's fucking crazy, man.
Yeah, little kids.
All right. So when you was going up in like grade school and middle school, besides the wrestling stuff, like what was your demeanor? Were you like class clown, quiet, nerdy? I mean, what was your,
I like fucking around a little bit. Yeah. Like I really enjoyed being a menace. Not like a menace, but I liked fucking around in school, like making my friends laugh, Like at home I was pretty chill because my brothers were these psychopaths. And then so I was pretty quiet. They were always cutting weight too. So they were just cutting weight and mad. And I was a little kid. It's not a fun combo to have a brother who's starving. So I kind of hung out in my room a lot. But then when I got to school, I was having fun, just goofing around. I wanted to do stand-up like my whole life. Like I started writing jokes in like 6th grade.
Okay, 6th. So what was the earliest you remember making somebody laugh that like wasn't related to you? Not like your mom just going, ha, that was a funny joke, 3-year-old. Like in high school. I mean, even probably in school, I imagine. Like, did you have a joke or a moment that was like they just busted up laughing?
I remember in 4th grade, I made like a video, with the camera about what the frick is Death Valley. I made a video about Death Valley, edited it and and it was just so fun. And I loved doing it so much. And I was just doing Beavis and Butthead shit. And after that, I was like, oh, I want to make videos and be funny.
Okay.
4th grade, I guess.
Okay. Dave says, fishing, drinking, riding bikes, smoking, and camping in the woods. Can you ask Joey if you do those fun things? I never camped. My dad was not a camper. He did not like camping. He hated everything about camping. He's like, why would I go sleep?
Yeah.
Why would I go sleep in the woods when you could perfectly get a hotel right there? So we stayed at hotels when I was little. But yeah, I did ride bikes and drink, and I did that. I was never a fisher guy. Never fished. I didn't like fishing too much.
Yeah, I never really got into camping hardcore until I moved to Los Angeles because I thought I hated camping too because I grew up in the woods. And then like once I got to LA, I was like, oh wait, like California nature is different than Iowa nature, I guess is what I'm saying.
Oh yeah. Well, you can get year round. You could live outside year round in California. You can't do that in Iowa. You just fucking freeze.
Yeah, it's also just like you want to go camping. It's mosquitoes, and you're by a lake in Iowa. Like out here, you're like, I don't know. Truly, I love California so much that you're just like, oh, you're in the most beautiful place you've ever seen when you wake up, and it's really nice.
Yes, sir. Oh, in high school, were you involved in high school, or besides the wrestling, did you get in like any clubs, or was this kind of wrestling and then shredding weight for wrestling and go back to your room and hate your brothers? What was up with that?
No, in high school, I was really into making movies. So me and my friends were just like, it was prime Jackass. Jackass is huge. Me and my buddies were just filming everything, making like public access TV show. We were just filming and making sketches constantly. So, yeah, we just were obsessed with like video.
Okay, so you guys are just basically doing the whole CKY Jackass arc.
Absolutely. On a much less funny scale.
Well, thinking back, do you remember any pranks that just make you go cringe, or that you later? I mean, I'm because when I was that age, things I found funny are absolutely horrid. Now, I mean, what was some shit that you remember that you did, or
I would like, you know what? I actually look back on. We have all the video and stuff, and I look back. I'm actually kind of proud of it. We're pretty progressive. Yeah, we made a feature length movie that we sold tickets to, where I play a gay gangster and like make out with my friend a lot. It's like, I'm like, that's kind of cool. Like, this is 2003 and we're just two dudes making out. Yeah, which is, just to like be like, whatever, this is cool. Anyway, that was called Rolling Dubs, which is about Dubuque, Iowa. We called Dubuque Dubs, which I guess now that I've prefaced it that way, it sounds like I was just a little gay guy who wanted to make out with my buddy and film it. But I don't know. I look at it now, I'm like, progressive. That's cool. I really went for it. I got kicked out of the mall for swimming in the fountain, but I worked at the mall, so I would have to sneak into the mall because I was banned from it to work. That was pretty fun.
Good old mall fountains. Yeah, the one in Cleveland, they had in downtown Cleveland, in Tower City, the mall there, they used to have one of the fountain that danced and everything. They just took it out. Made me sad. There's no stores down there anymore, though. The decline of malls is kind of
Cleveland. Cleveland has like what is that? What is that place called in the middle of Cleveland? I've done Hilarities. I'm doing Hilarities at the end of February. But it's the world's first mall, America's first mall.
Oh yeah, the old arcade in 1889, yes, I think. Yeah. It's a hotel now. You can get events.
Yeah, I stay there. That's where I stay when I do Hilarities.
Okay. I did the side room in Hilarities, I think.
Nice.
I think because it was the Cleveland Comedy Open, and I think it wasn't the main stage. I think it was a side room. Because my buddy Mayo, he used to come over all the time before he started touring and shit. He's done the main room a couple times, like as a featured shit like that.
Yeah.
Now we're always talking about clubs in Cleveland. Might as well keep going. Have you done Funny Bone or East Fort, or what have you done?
Besides the Funny Bone in Dayton. I've done whatever Columbus's main room is. Cleveland Hilarities. Did some room in like East Ohio. Forget, but it was intense.
Okay.
It was right on the West Virginia border.
Oh, fuck. I've never been down. I mean, it's weird, dude, because like once you, like in Cleveland, once you hit like Menor and Ashtabula, or like, you don't know the suburbs, but like once you hit the eastern suburbs, there's like a cutoff, and then everything just goes rural as hell. And then it just keeps going down and down. It just turns into like mountains, and then West Virginia and just all Appalachia. It's untouched. So like Ohio has parts of Appalachia, or what the fuck it's called, Appalachia. Parts of that there. I mean, that's every fucking state, I guess, right? We all get once you get out of the city, it's all fucking country and hillbillies, same fucking thing. Like you say, all right, we did have a question from hold on. I'm sorry, brother. Give me 1 second.
No,
He says, can you ask Brooks what that picture in the wall is? Looks like audio cassette, maybe.
Oh, those are all my tapes. I listen to tapes a lot.
Oh, you still got a tape player.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
So I just fuck with those are just cassettes.
Okay. I hate
Below is a sign that I stole from a cave I worked at in Dubuque, Iowa, Crystal Lake Cave.
Okay. Dude, that's a badass. I always got some gems, man. I really, like we talk about Effigy Mounds. I really want to take the kids there. Fuck, that was just so fun.
Effigy Mounds is fascinating. Crystal Lake Cave is terrible, the place I worked. Effigy Mounds rocks, though.
All right, we got questions from Dave. He says, what's your favorite British comedian, if you have one?
Oh, I mean, John Oliver's like one of my I'm opening for John Oliver all the time. He's a super close friend. He's my favorite.
Nice.
But he lives in America, so I'm trying to think of like British comedian who.
Yeah, because he's technically an American now because he's got a citizenship.
Yeah, I think like James Acaster is like just a fascinating person.
I'd have to think about that because my buddies always send me these recommendations. I'm not gonna lie to you, Brooks. My brain's fucking fried, so it's like, I think about who's your favorite. I don't know. I have to look it up. All right, so did you go to the University of Iowa just because it was like the closest party school within like a couple hours of home, or that's why I chose Kent State. What was the deal with that?
I was going to be a doctor, and they had a really good biomedical engineering college. So I was pre-med biomedical engineering for my undergrad. And it was just super cheap and close to go to. So yeah, I think it was like $4,000 a year to go to Iowa from Iowa. So I went there and got a biomedical engineering degree, and then realized like after 3 months of going to college, I was like, I want to be a comic, but I'll get this degree and use it to move to Los Angeles or New York City. So that's what I did.
So you're a biomedical engineer degree.
Yeah.
Okay. Fucking hell. So you took like derivative calculus and all that bullshit. I got as far as like calc business for majors or calculus for business majors was what I took. And I got a D in that motherfucker. I hated math, dude. I didn't like math, but it was like the word problems. I hated the word problems. You give me a formula, I could do that, but like the word like represent this, I got it. I was drinking all the time. I couldn't focus on that shit, dude. There's no way.
Yeah. I dug math and science a lot. That's why I like that stuff. And I was really bad at English. Like I don't understand what commas are. So I was like, I'll just go do that.
So you were doing the biomedical engineering and this, you were doing stand-up at that point. No, you were, time did you start?
Sure. I didn't quit engineering until the day I got hired to go write at Saturday Night Live. Like that day I quit engineering.
Oh, okay. So what was your first, like hold on. So like when you first started stand-up, were you doing like open mic nights? Obviously everybody starts. Were you doing countless open mic nights, or like how fast was your initial ascent to where, you got to be at least noticeable kind of thing?
Well, I went when I was 19 to this place, Penguins Comedy Club in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, to watch an open mic. And then like once I got there, I was like, I need to go up. And then once I went up, I did, I don't know what, 3 minutes, and then asked immediately. My brother was a bartender there. And so he was like, this is Kim. She's the manager. So it was nice. He introduced me to the manager, and I was like, can I work here too? And she was like, we don't need you. And I was like, I'll do whatever. And she was like, okay. And so I just like answered phones and ran the sound, and then just worked at the comedy club every Friday and Saturday all through college. And then they would let me go up when the shows were bad.
Okay. So they would like throw you up on like a Tuesday or some random night when nobody was there.
It was just Friday and Saturday.
Oh, just Friday and Saturday. Shit, yeah, my bad.
Yeah, and the owner is this really great guy, Mark Johnson, and he would always host the good shows. So, but if no one had come, he would be like, I don't want to go up there. You can go up there. So I would go host those shows. And it was awesome, and I loved it. It was so ecstatic to ever be performing there, and I don't even know if it's around anymore. It got flooded, and then it changed. But then I moved to Kansas City, did open mics there. Then when I got to Chicago, it was the first time. Then I went to Chicago for an internship, and once I was in Chicago, I was like, oh, that was the first time I ever like saw guys my age. I was 21 at the time, being like, this is our life. This is what we do. Like, this isn't a hobby. And that was really exciting.
Okay. So you were still at this time you were still doing your biomedical engineering stuff the whole time, you said, right?
Yeah, I was still in college doing that at that time.
Okay. At what point did you get to till you graduated? How many years after you graduated did you move to LA, or did you move right after that?
I moved. Yeah, I'm finished my last. So my whole goal. I went to Chicago, and I was obsessed with comedy. And now I'm like, I'm a real comic. Like the comics when I moved to Chicago were some of the best comics in the world. Like when I moved there, it was like Kumail Nanjiani was doing open mics, and T.J. Miller, Hannibal Buress, Mike Bridenstine, Mike Holmes, Prescott Tulk, C.J. Sullivan. Like it was this it was this rare time in comedy where all of these really, really incredible comics, Kyle Kinane, are in Chicago. And I saw that and I was like, I want to be a part of this. And they were all leaving. So there was a huge vacuum for stage time, which was cool because like the city was used to these really great comics and then they left and then they needed filled. And so me and my crew were the new guys and we're like, hey, we're not as good as them, but we're getting so much stage time and the crowds are so fucking good. And it was awesome. And then, but I knew I couldn't go back to Chicago because I would stay in Chicago. I was fully aware, like if I get a job in Chicago, I won't leave. I need to move to Los Angeles or New York City. So I go back to my senior year of college and I get a job offer in Chicago for that internship. And I turned it down and my dad was not stoked. You know, he's like, you can't turn down a biomedical engineering job. You know, you don't have one. But I did. I said, no, I can't do that job. And I only looked for jobs in New York and Los Angeles because I knew I needed to get to one of these two places. And then I got a job in LA. It took forever. But the day I took my last final at college, I remember I drank a bunch of tequila with my friend on his roof, threw my bike off his roof, like onto the street. And then the next day got in my car and drove to LA when I was 22.
22 years old going out to LA. So what was the best fast food restaurant when you first went out there?
You know what I didn't like, but that has now grown on me is In-N-Out. I thought In-N-Out was lame when I first got here. And now that I've been here for so long, I'm like, it's really good.
Okay. I like Jack in the Box, dude. Jack in the Box.
I hate Jack in the Box.
You hate Jack in the Box? Oh, dude, that's my
least favorite. It's my least favorite fast food chain.
Oh my goodness, dude. I crave I don't get out to the West Coast much. I've only been out there a couple times, but they got one in Texas too, but like it's been a minute. It's probably been a good 8-9 years since I had Jack in the Box, but man, that sourdough Jack, bro. Fuck.
Genuine hatred for Jack in the Box. I'm sorry.
What is the reason for your hate? You just don't like the food, or what don't you like?
I think the food's bad. Yeah. I used to live next to one in Long Beach, and it was just like, I feel like the lettuce is like spray painted cardboard. They spray paint cardboard green, and then they fucking just like stamp it and put it on a piece of fucking bread. I fucking hate Jack in the Box. And I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine, brother. You're fine. It makes me laugh because they got the tacos, the egg rolls, they had the most random drunk food and shit. It was funny as fuck. Makes me laugh.
Yeah, pick a lane, Jack in the Box. Quit being all over the place. What are you good at? Do that.
Right? Are we Italian? Are we Chinese? Are we American casual? What are we here? That's great. All right. So you were did you work when they could still? You didn't do work when they could still smoke at the clubs, did you? Are you that old? You not been around that long?
Well, I was hit or miss. I remember doing the St. Louis Funny Bun when the waitresses were ripping cigs the whole time. And I was like, isn't that illegal? And they were like, not like in a little bitchy way, but I was like, you guys can still smoke in here? And they're like, try and stop us. And I was like, all right.
Yeah, it was like that. Because I remember I was smoking cigarettes back then. I smoked from like maybe about 13 years. And it was 05 or so. And they started passing this ordinance, and I was like against it because like it was going to be an issue, whatever the fuck it was, and you couldn't smoke in the bar after this ordinance was passed. I was like, oh, don't pass this. We still need to smoke. But in hindsight, it was great because, dude, I'm not gonna lie, I like going to the bar without smoking. I couldn't imagine. Can you imagine, bro, going into a club now and everybody smoking Marlboro Reds and Newports?
You used to smoke on planes. It's fucking crazy.
Right.
Imagine getting on an airplane and they're smoking on it. Insane. Right. I do feel like we will look at phones the same way we look at cigarettes, like in 20 years, where we're like, can you believe doctors were doing it? You know, like we're just so addicted to this new thing. And it can't be good.
It's not. Well, I mean, it goes down the whole line of people just not getting personal interaction. It was exasperated by the, lockdowns. Just, I mean, there's so much more fun when you're there in person, when you're just hanging out. You know what I mean? Like, it's just how it is. It's at least me. I mean, and a lot of people, and this is, just me talking. This isn't the opinion of the American Medical Association, but I think we drastically overdiagnose and call what is a mental illness in this country. I mean, you got people who just cannot deal with basic life things. Like, oh, I got PTSD. What was your issue? I got cut off in traffic. I think about it all the time. And I'm not dealing with that. No, fuck you. You got to leave the house. And they'll just get emotional support, whatever animals, and they're just coddled by meme culture and live a different world that just is not healthy, man. These phones, bro.
No, I know I'm hyper addicted to mine. I'm about to do a 3-week trip rafting down the Colorado River through the Grand Canyon with some buds where there's no service. And I am really like gonna try to kind of use that to catapult into like a new, hey, let's get off our phone,
I'm trying to, I mean, I like being online. Like I get the phone up for questions, but like I don't really like looking at my phone because it's mostly charging. It's like but I don't mind being online. No, but I mean, I'd rather be.
Look, man, it's part of the job. You have a podcast, you need to promote it. I have stand-up comedy that I need to promote. But I miss like waking up and like fucking reading a book, like I'm like haven't read a full book in months, and that's so crazy. You know what I mean?
Well, I was thinking about that the other day because I always rip on books. I rip up because I got a lot of friends who are really into books, but typically the people who are really into books, they got other life issues going on, but I'm not gonna get into that. They just try to escape through the books. But I was thinking, it made me laugh today because I was thinking about that, like, because we were somebody brought up the statistic of how many advertisements we see on a daily basis, and I was thinking, back in the day, you could just get that book and there was no fucking advertisements in that book. You could just read that book. You're not looking at, an ad for Whirlpool and another ad for Uber Eats. None of that. You just focus on the fucking book. And who knows? Man, I haven't read a book. The last book I read was probably Drew Carey's autobiography, and that was like 96. It's been a fucking minute, dude. It's been a hot minute since I read a book, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I am not gonna lie, man. All right, so let's see here. Do you have any funny stories of getting like hoodwinked when you're coming up? Getting hoodwinked by a promoter, not getting paid, anything like that? Just any.
No, I kind of lucked out, but lucked out. I didn't tour. I never did the road ever. Because I had a day job at biomedical engineering. I was full-time and I was just doing that in LA and then stand up every night. Work all day, stand up at night. So I never did any real shitty rooms because I got Saturday Night Live off like straight up. My first job was Saturday Night Live, quit engineering, and then had legit representation to do real clubs. And so I never fucking dealt with one-nighters. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I lucked out pretty big, but also it was from working really hard at the same time.
Funny. It's funny about Saturday Night Live. When I did my first mic, it was my first open mic in 2017. And the guy who hosted that mic room, his name was Marcelo Hernandez. And he's, I think he just recently signed with Saturday Night Live the past couple years. I don't really watch it too much anymore because I'm not out that late. I'm not gonna lie. It's a different culture with the internet, obviously. But like, I mean, I can't. What if I got back into drinking? Maybe okay. I'm up late on Saturday, watch it. But I mean,
it's also like a show that's for like high school kids. You know what I mean? It's not for adults. Like straight up, anybody who's on the show agrees. They're like, yeah, this isn't for me, but cool, I'm on it.
It's funny you say that because my buddy Tom always told me, he's like, the people, if you ask anybody what their favorite era of Saturday Night Live was, it's always when they're in high school.
Yeah,
always.
Totally. I mean, absolutely. I was obsessed in high school.
That's crazy. Yeah, ask anybody my age, like, oh yeah, Chris Farley and Adam Sandler and this and that. But I mean, comedy's all subjective, and they could show articles every decade. Oh, Saturday Night Live is going to end here. Saturday Night Live is going to. It's whatever. I mean, there's nothing else on. They've tried, putting other shows against it. I remember Howard Stern did that once. He's like, oh, there's nothing competes against Saturday Night Live, and they threw some up and it flopped because it's such an open format. You just bring it in whatever. That's why it's never going to die, really. All right, what is it? Let's see here. What percentage of the ability to break into stand-up is just like in a basic ability to get along with people and just talk to them, maybe smooth? So many of these people did I see, Brooks, that I've had a bunch on the show, stand-up comics on the show, and I'm friends with quite a bit of the ones in Cleveland. And all the time, so many egos. Everybody thinks there's funnier than this and this, and I see a lot of mental illness, and I know a lot of comics will say you can't even get into comedy unless you're mentally ill, but like some of these guys just got such these fucking egos, man. What is it with that? Where they just can't deal with basic human interaction with some of these people? Is that just a lot of it? Is that more than a lot of people think?
No, I think like stand-up comedy, like especially when you're in the for me, when I started like in Iowa, which is, not a hotbed for the entertainment industry, it was like you needed the perfect amount of reality and delusion. You know what I mean? There's like a sliver where you're delusional enough to think that this is a good idea, but you're realistic enough to know, like, here's what it's going to take to make it go. Like, I understand no one is going to see me here in Cedar Rapids. And I know that this doesn't matter, but I'm delusional enough to think it does a little bit matter. You know what I mean? So it's like that checking yourself, but also realizing where you are. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Humility, but you gotta laugh at yourself. You have to be self-deprecating. Some of these young guys, man, they come up and they just tell all the jokes about, I'm a loser and this and that, and then you can tell they walk off the stage and they just go sit and stare at the phone. What kind of life is that, man? It's not, you don't want to do like that. You got to make it a hobby that pays. You can't make it a job at first. And you're kind of the unstereotypical type, because a lot of the times, a lot of these guys will say you can't never make it in comedy unless you like quit your work and put your all in it, because you have everything to lose at that point. You're gonna put your best into it. But that's not the case, as you see. I mean, you have shown it's
no, I think that's a really bad idea. I think that's terrible. Then you're trying to make money off of it. Then you need it, and you will like adjust to what the crowd, or you'll be like, dude, if you're doing. Every time I perform, genuinely, and look, I bombed last night at the Comedy Store. I did really bad. But like, I think if I saw that set that I did, I'd be like, that was cool. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just trying to perform for myself, which then leads to success, because you're not trying to please anyone. Which if you quit all your jobs and you're like, I'm just a stand-up comic, then you have to please people to fucking pay your rent. And that's not, for me, the best path forward in like comedy and art, to like try to make what you think people want versus what do you want. And I cannot stress how bad I did last night by trying.
Those shows that you do bad with, they fucking stick with you a little bit. Maybe you got to get most comics that I've seen, at least in my arc. It's been a couple minutes since I've done only one or two mics, 2-3 mics in the past 5 years or 4 years or so. But that first show has to make people laugh. If you don't make people laugh that first show, you're just not gonna do it again, because it's not fun. But if you get some laughs and you get a couple people who are, that was good, 1 or 2 people chuckling, that's good. It feels good, and you want to do more. And then, but you run into the problem, at least in like small towns. Like, I know every person in Cleveland, dude. I've seen every open micers act 5 times, and I don't really do as much anymore. It's been a while. A lot of it's just because I'm friends on Facebook, but there's only the limited audience that you could do. You got to get your exposure to people. You can be the funniest fucking person in the world. If it's the same 80 people, they're gonna get bored with you after a while. A steak every night gets tiresome after the 80th day. You know what I mean? So in that, if you can go to New York, go to LA. I mean, that's fucking expensive now. Like hell, I'd have to cut back on a lot of shit I couldn't do it now with the family. But like for me, if I was a single guy, I'd have to do something to be able to pay for an apartment. That's just an apartment, Fuck that, dude. I got a yard, bro. Fuck, I want to go live in an apartment. Work for some jackass when I got a yard. You know what I mean? It's like, so you can do it part-time. You just got to figure this shit out, man. Makes me laugh.
Yeah, totally.
All right. We got a couple questions to catch up with. Stand by. Hold on.
Cool.
All right. He says, what was the last time you went to Hooters?
Hell, there's a new Hooters called Hoots. That I saw recently. My friend Whitmer, text my friend Whitmer Thomas, Hoots. It's like a wing place, and he said it's woke Hooters. That he's like, they even let guys work there. I hate it. So I haven't I went to Hooters with Whitmer Thomas, I'd say 2 years ago. And it was a pretty rundown Hooters in Burbank, California. And they ran out of cups. Like I was like, can I get a soda? And they go, we're out of cups. I go, okay.
Here you guys pour some soda in my hands. Let's do
it. They're like, we're going to get cups. I was like, all right.
The last time I was at Hooters was in 2021, I think. Last time, it was like second to last time we went down to see the Browns-Bengals game. And there was a Hooters in Kentucky. If you ever get to see, this is a comic guy, my buddy, his name's Anthony Mayo. If you ever get to run into him, tell him I said hi. He's up and coming, whatever. It's fun. But it was me, him, and my two other buddies, Hernan and Mike. We were at the Hooters, and it was a fucking complete mess, dude. The waitress, she didn't know what was going on. I think she got her job just like the day before. And then this guy, that he must be the kitchen manager, so gets on the microphone and goes, he yells, I want everybody to the front now. And he just starts berating these employees in front of all the customers.
Whoa.
And then the food was all late. And then by the time the waitress didn't bring out the food, the guy did, the kitchen manager brought out. And they started making small talk. I was like, dude, just please don't make small talk. One, we came here to see titties to deliver our food, not you. We don't really care about the food. The food secondary, tutors, whatever. But yeah, that place is well, I mean, a lot of the bars, a lot of people that own bars and places like that tend to be, that type that too.
So I have like this theory about like Hooters-esque establishments. Like I went to a Buffalo Wild Wings in New York City recently because I was like stressed and I just wanted to feel like the Midwest. And it was one of the worst experiences I've ever had in my life. Like, where was this Hooters that you were at?
This was in Covington, Kentucky. It was right across the border, right across the river from Cincinnati.
Okay. So you can only go to like chain restaurants if they're that town's best restaurant. Do you know what I mean? The Buffalo Wild Wings in fucking Dubuque, Iowa hits. It's perfect because they care about it. It's nice. They're trying. It is, you go there and in a good mood. The fucking Buffalo Wild Wings in Brooklyn is not a good one because no one's excited to be there. Like you have to have Applebee's rules in Iowa. Applebee's sucks in LA because Applebee's means something in Iowa, and in LA, like why the fuck would you go to Applebee's unless you just want to feel Iowa? And so straight up, like your Covington Hooters, like it's not going to work. Go to the Hooters in fucking Dayton. I bet that's a great Hooters. You know what I mean? Like it's going to be a respected restaurant. You can't go to a Hooters that people want a different job. You got to go to a Hooters where it's the best job in town. So it goes all over the place. It works for fast food too. You can't just eat fast food anywhere.
My funnest time at the Hooters, that made me think of this time. It was up in Alaska. We're going to talk about Alaska in a minute. I got a couple Alaska questions. It was year 2000. And we're up in Anchorage, Alaska. There's a Hooters up there. And some of my buddies got drunk and they took the, they had a patio umbrella, right? But it was nobody was out there because it was nighttime. So nobody was on the patio. But one of the guys that I was in the guard with, they took the patio umbrella and took it on the bus. They're like, all right, we're going to steal this. And they were like, obviously that was the one drunk guy. Nobody else was on board with this plan. Then we got one of the senior guys was like, what the fuck are you doing with it? And he ended up, one buddy had the Hooters manager. He was going to call the cops. Like we were going to get the cops called on us. He ended up bribing them. He gave him like $150, $160 because just so we didn't call the cops. Yeah, we got fucking loaded that trip. I actually didn't drink that trip, but that trip, my buddies got fucking loaded. Yeah, we'll get into some Alaska here in a second. But did you ever have like a put you in your place kind of moment? Like you thought you were going to get something and then, you got shot down. We were talking about the Eagle thing earlier, but like, and do you think that everybody has to have that kind of moment, the whole walk before you can run kind of thing, fail before you can succeed?
I mean, I had it last night, dude. I ate shit at the Comedy Store. Like it's anytime you think that you're good and you're solid and you're set, you're going to get, I took my set so lightly, didn't really think about it. Walked up, was like, I got this. No, you don't ever have anything. I mean, it's constant where I'm just like, hey, I'm good now. So we're set, right? Like, oh, cool. This special was raved about in the New York Times. Like, I'm a good comic. No, you have to do it every day. You know what I mean? Nothing is fucking just given. And I like woke up this morning and was like, fuck, I haven't bombed like that in so long. But it's just, anytime you think you're done bombing, you'll bomb harder than you've ever bombed.
Jokes, the funniest spot is in my head because I'll just be driving around and I'll be thinking of something. I think that would make a great fucking joke. Why can't I remember these? And it's probably not something, and it's probably because I'm high all the time, but like I'm sure your head's kind of the same way. It's something you'll be thinking ahead, something so funny, maybe make the funniest fucking joke, but then there's like, not all the time there's a joke for that. You know what I mean? You just random points throughout the day. That's funny.
Yeah. I did. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, I get put in my place daily, I would say.
Well, this made me think of Facebook. You say you don't got Facebook much. What do you just not really do social media? That I mean, it sounds like you're trying to de-social media-fy in a way.
I'll Instagram. I'll post stuff on Instagram, but like Facebook is like, confusing to Facebook is for parents to me. You know what I mean? Like I'm like that's. I don't think anything good happens on Facebook. I don't think anything good happens on social media, but like for some reason, I dig Instagram.
Yeah, I've never been an Instagram guy. I like looking at words. I'm a words guy. I look at pictures too, but like I like words. And hashtags just hurts my eyes for some reason. Especially Instagram's so spammy. Like people will post a picture and fucking you'll have a good dog. Dogs of Instagram. Rottweilers of Cleveland. Rottweilers of Cleveland.
Look, I'm fully addicted to it. But I just think like. The whole idea of like Facebook, it's easy to like get into other people's lives and be jealous of what they have going on. You're only posting, these beautiful, vacation stuff, which is Instagram too, dude. I'm not like saying that one's better. I'm just like, for some reason, it's more digestible than like, I feel like I'm like reading people's diaries when I'm on Facebook. I'm like, you shouldn't tell people that.
Right. Well, every now and then there's always a good drama post on Facebook. The favorite are like when people are trying to expose people and like people think we care. Like, fuck out of here. Nobody gives a fuck. All right, we got a question from Dave. Yeah. Question for Brooks. I fancy becoming. He's from England. I fancy. So that's why he's using the fancy word. He's not fancy. He's just saying he fancies it. I fancy becoming a stand-up comic. You recommend a decent degree to set me off like in college. I guess that'd be a college question. Yeah. So if he's
biomedical engineering degree.
There you go.
Right. You can do that during the day and stand up at night.
Well, I mean, a lot of stand-ups. I'm trying to get back to stand-up my damn self, but next year. Well, my thing was I'm a stoner, dude. I smoke quite a bit of weed, like quite a bit of fucking weed. I mean, like people and I was analyzing it the other day because I just went to Michigan this morning, right? Because I always go to Michigan to get weed because it's way cheaper than back here in Ohio. And you're like that's a far drive. But you're like, these prices are 80% cheaper. It's literally 80% cheaper in Michigan. And I can get fucking 20 pre-rolls for like $14 in Michigan. And in Ohio, it's like fucking $300. It's asinine. Regardless, my problem was I just don't remember. I can't remember shit, because you smoke a lot of weed, you don't remember shit. And it's like, and punchlines too. So I'm taking this symposium. There's this guy, Dave Swenson. He runs this thing down hilarious. I'm going to do that and get back into it. So I can learn that and punchlines, just timing and shit like that. Because, being funny is half of it. A lot of people, what I always laugh at, Brooks, is when people think, oh, my life would make a great reality show. No, it wouldn't. Nobody wants to see you going shopping for yoga pants. Your life is not funny. Even my life, I have funny moments. I post highlights. And that's all social media is highlights. I post the fun stuff, but even my life is boring as fuck. There's so many days just sitting here on the computer. You know what I mean? There's a lot of downtime in stand-up and in just comedy and YouTube in general. There's a lot of just sitting around waiting. It's not all fucking exciting drunk moments. You got to have a basic decorum about you. So that's what makes you laugh.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see here. Sorry about that.
No, all good. I got a rock in like 5. If that's okay.
Okay, that's fine. I'll ask you just one more question. I'll get into the. I'll ask you in the whole.
Yeah. No, sorry. I'm meeting a friend at 1:30 for.
Oh yeah. You told me. That's fine. All right. What is your take on how comics dress? Like, I'm of the opinion you got to dress for the role a little bit. Like, at least for guys, wear a button down or something. At least a clean pair of pants at a minimum. Do you put much thought into what you wear on stage? You just kind of wear whatever.
No, I had this. When I was first starting out, I was like, I want to be myself on stage and off stage, like exactly the same. And I was like, if that means I'm wearing flip flops and fucking cargo shorts, that's what I'm wearing. And I was like 20 or 21 when I was doing that, and then I realized like put some pants on, bud. So I'll wear like pants and I don't know, depending on the gig, I will. Like if I'm headlining and, people are paying money to come see me, I'm like, look like I'm at work, like I don't wear like a fucking button down, but I'll wear a cool, something I perceive to be cool.
Okay. So yeah, if you're dressing, 1's completely informal, 10 is, top tuxedo. I would say throw it at about a 6 or 7 if you're gonna go out there. It's just my opinion. You gotta dress to roll. People gonna respect you more if you dress the part. You gotta respect you more if you look good.
I wore a suit on stage one time because I was at a wedding and then I had to go do a set. And it's not the vibe. It's dress for your vibe is all I'll say. You know?
Don't overdress too. Don't wear
wearing a suit on stage.
Oh yeah, definitely don't wear a suit. Definitely not that. All right. On a scale of 1 to 10 or 1 to 100, how sick of talking about Saturday Night Live are you?
Oh, none, 0. I love it. Like it's an interesting. I don't want to talk about it all the time. I don't want to bring it up, but like it's a fascinating thing that is a big part of my life. Even though that's why I do comedy, and I did the show, and it was it'd be weird to be like it's nothing. No, it was really crazy. So. And also all my friends also have done that show. And so we talk about it a lot.
That's cool, man. That's cool.
Yeah. If you put two people or 3 people who worked on SNL, like together in a room, and we're like, it will take 60 seconds before we're only talking about Saturday Night.
Nice. I'd love to get on this conversation.
We're like, let's not talk about it. Did you hear? You know what I mean? Like,
it's like that. It's like that with me and my dumbass friends on YouTube. In 2 seconds, we're talking about YouTube. It's ridiculous. All right, 2 more questions. We'll let you get out of here. Beatles or Queen? If you pick any band out of those 2 bands, who would you pick? Who would you pick out of Beatles or Queen? Those 2 bands.
Beatles.
Okay.
Yeah, not even a question.
And my brother was like that.
I really like Freddie Mercury, but like Beatles are the Beatles.
Right. Fucking timeless, brother. Timeless. All right. Got to ask you about the Alaska special.
So we had this conversation the other day. Beatles are clearly 1. Who's number 2 greatest rock band of all time? I said Zeppelin. My friends are all about Stones.
Their catalog isn't the best, but Guns N' Roses is right up there with me. And you'd have to put them in the conversation.
Yeah. They're your favorite. I'm saying.
Yeah. For band, for like longness, you got to throw Metallica. I know people, but whatever about Metallica, but Metallica's been out there for quite a while too.
We don't have like the catalog. I'm just thinking, these are good. You're not saying bad choices at all. I'm like, yeah, but like, I don't know. I guess maybe just because I wasn't around for them and they just seemed like done. Maybe that's why I like the Beatles and Led Zeppelin so much.
Oh yeah. Well, the Beatles were just transcendent. I mean, in 1960, whatever the fuck it was, 5 or.
You know what movie I saw? You know what movie I saw the other day that's fucking great that I thought was going to be lame was the Bob Dylan movie. I can't think of what it's called. Like
I remember it. I know what you're talking about. I've seen it on like one of the things. I didn't watch it myself though. I know what you're talking about.
It's great. It's actually I thought it was going to be lame. It was really good.
Okay. Now this Alaska special. What on God's green earth decided you to go up to Alaska and do this? Was you like drunk and shit? What was the inspiration for that?
I like. From growing up in like a small town in Iowa, I really appreciated any acts that would come through Cedar Rapids or Davenport. And so I really love performing in markets that maybe don't get a ton of traffic. And Alaska is, the most, can't think of a market that doesn't get a lot of traffic more. So I just was like cruising up to Alaska to do this tour. And then I got asked if I wanted to shoot a special by this company, 800 Pound Gorilla. I was opening for John Oliver in Nashville at the Ryman Theater, and it was really fun. It was a great set. And they're like, hey, we want to shoot something with you. And I was like, can we shoot it in Alaska? And they were like, no. And I was like, ugh. They're like, we were thinking Chicago. And I was like, no, it's got to be Alaska. And so they're like, well, if you pay the difference, like here's how much we would pay for Chicago. This is what we're willing to pay. You want to cover the extra, you can. We'll go to Alaska and do it with you, but it's on you. And I was like, all right. So I dropped $20,000 and we shot in Alaska.
Oh yeah. Now, did you get to go to how many times did you go to Chilkoot Charlie's in Anchorage?
Twice. I watched a show there and I did a show there.
Oh, I think that show's there, dude. Fuck, you made a goal for me now. That's gonna be my goal.
That place is great.
Oh, dude, Cooch is my favorite place on earth. One of them, man. It's fucking damn. Now you told me that you can do stand-up shows there. Give me a good idea.
Stand-up shows there once a week, every weekend. It's awesome. Yeah.
Fucking A. Yeah, I was up there. I was up in Alaska twice, 2000, 2012. And we're planning to go up there again in 2026. But those two are the servers. This is going to be because I know this guy. His name's Robert Forto. He's a dog musher. So he's going to let us go up there and mush around with the dogs and pet the puppies. And so we're going to have a fucking blast, dude. It's going to be a great time up there.
I had so much fun, dude. I mean, I would do it again and not film it because, when you're filming, I filmed all these sets. I did this 2-week tour and producing. It was just like, anytime I was having fun, I was like, oh, we need to film this. We need to film this versus just being in the moment. So I would love to go back and do it again, but not film it.
Oh yeah, you got to have. That's what some of these guys, some of my YouTube friends think they need to film everything. You got to have off-camera fun moments. That's why I am with the tailgate. Some people are like, oh, so make great content. I'm like, no, fuck you. This is my zen. We're sitting out here having fun. I don't want to talk about the Browns when I'm 5 fucking blunts in and 3 edibles. I want to space out and talk to my friends. I don't want to analyze the game.
Did the Browns win yesterday? They lost, right?
They lost to the Bengals. It was a horribly annoying game because
I have Joe Burrow on my fantasy league. Like, dude, okay, can I talk fantasy football for 1 second?
Well, hell yeah.
So it's all comics in this league, and I got 8th, so I squeaked into the playoffs. But then I beat the number 1 seed, who was Sean O'Connor last weekend, and now I'm in the semifinals as the 8th seed, who did terrible all season. And it comes down tonight if this fucking guy who I've never heard, Kendre Miller, who is stepping in for Alvin Kamara, if he scores less than 7 points, I'm in the finals, and I'm upsetting the whole league. So I'm watching the Monday Night Football game tonight. I hate rooting against someone I like rooting for, but I'm like, don't give this fuck the ball.
Oh, we do first round buys. Yeah, I think the 1 and 2 seed. I think only the 16 weeks make the playoffs. Yeah, that would drive me up a fucking wall if the 8 seed beat a 1. Oh my god, can you imagine, dude? Imagine being the other guy.
So much shit. I'm talking so much shit. I'm like, you all suck. I auto drafted. I'm like, I know what I'm doing. You junk. And I'm only here because my fucking kicker scored 21 points yesterday for the Cowboys. And I don't deserve to be anywhere near where I'm at right now.
That's great. Well, me and my buddy we're secretly rooting for the Cowboys yesterday because we're so sick of the people in the Browns groups fucking masturbating over Baker Mayfield. He's not going to win you anything. He's not here. Stop talking about it. Stop. If you're out there, you're watching this, and you're talking about
Baker Mayfield. You guys, your team, the Browns what a dumpster fire you constantly create.
It's so bad.
And I like the Dolphins, so look, it's not like I have a winning team either, but the fact that it has to be Deshaun Watson has to be the worst acquisition in the history of professional sports.
Oh, not even close. Not even close.
It's crazy. You have a sexual predator who's also not good, and he costs so much money. It's 3 strikes. He's a sexual predator, not good, money. All of one of those is bad. All of them. He's got all of them, and he doesn't even seem to like your town. All right.
Oh, he was here just for the money. Yeah, you know how much wasted energy I put in the life on Deshaun Watson there, Brooks? God, fuck alive.
I'm sorry. I just kind of because I do like Jameis Winston. I mean, that guy's fun and interesting. It's just let him be your quarterback so we can at least root for a good guy who, I don't know if he's a good guy. He's crazy, but he's fun.
Hey, he's fun. He's great. I saw him on Theo Von's show. It's funny. He's a good dude, man. I like Jameis. Love to get Jameis here. All right, you got to promise me. Oh, the Browns are playing the Dolphins this weekend. We should do.
I don't even know. I check out once the Dolphins are out. I'm a shitty fan. I switched over to the Lions these last few years, so I'm like.
Yeah, my buddy Sean was just talking about. They just said one pride. He lives up in Toledo, so he likes the Lions. I'm a Browns season ticket holder, so I mean it's mandatory fun. I got to go. I'm not going to eat the tickets.
No, of course, man. Look, man, you have it. I'm from Iowa, so I get to pick. You know what I mean? I'm an Iowa Hawkeyes forever. College Iowa Hawkeyes. I even like Iowa State. Like you and I, like Iowa. Iowa is my shit. So I get it. If you're from a place that has a thing, doesn't matter. You got to be a fan. It doesn't matter. I'll always root for Iowa. But we don't have professional teams, so I get to be a little kind of a bitch about it.
All right, you guys are the giant Chicago suburbs at the end of the day, kind of. That's great.
Yeah. So I dig the Lions because of Barry Sanders, and I like the Dolphins because of Dan Marino.
Barry Sanders, they're both fucking studs, bro. My first year doing fantasy, Dan Marino was it was his last year in football, I think 99. Do you remember somebody drafted him? And I remember I was an auction league. I think I was being slick. I drafted Barry Sanders, who was out of the league. I was like, he'll come back, and he didn't come back. I wasted $8 in the auction league. All right, you got to promise you something. If you come to Hilarities, and I'll head out there and see that show, man. We'll fucking
please.
and smoke, or I mean, you don't smoke it. Oh, I got to tell you that when I was laughing, we do the Q&A in the Alaska special. Check out his Alaska special after this, guys. Go to YouTube, type in Brooks Wheelan Alaska. It'll come right up.
Yeah, and then I'm at Hilarities. I'm going to tell you the date right now, February 27th through March 1st.
All right. Oh, fall, you got the whole weekend. Shit. Oh, hell yeah. This is going to be a great time. I'll have to definitely come out and kick it, and we'll smoke or do some edibles or whatever the fuck you're doing. Maybe
I'm not good at weed, man, but I'll hang.
That's during the special, during the Q&A, when the guy asked you about Alaska weed, and is like, did you watch the show? That made me laugh so much. It was so fucking funny.
Yeah, I was like, did you like Alaska weed? And I'm like, 20 minutes is about how I can't smoke weed.
It makes me laugh. So yeah, check out Brooks. He's coming to a city near you, and I'll see him when hopefully when he comes to Larry's here in Cleveland.
Absolutely, man. I really, really appreciate it. This is so fun. I'm glad that that's worked out.
Yes, sir. Be in touch, brother. Be in touch, man. I'll holler at you guys.
Appreciate it.
All right, peace, guys. All right, and we are clear.